Jeez, it's hot, you know. I'm very hot. My back is sweaty, my palms are sweaty, my knees, legs, arms, they're all sweaty as well. Welcome back to whatever this series is. We're going to talk about things about EXO. Specifically today we're going to be talking about what makes EXO so successful. Very hard thing to dissect. No, this is actually pretty easy. Coming up with a list of things essentially that have made EXO so successful, and the fact that they have all this staying power. You know, why are they like that? Well, we're going to answer that. So first and foremost, I need to apologise. I haven't made any EXO videos in absolutely ages, and there is a reason for that. EXO haven't released anything in ages, and my content has sort of diverged away from what I was doing about a year ago. I don't really do reactions so much anymore. I do music reviews, you know, and that's pretty much it. I do plan on making more videos like this in the future though, so stick around, subscribe, that sort of thing if you want to, that'd be awesome. So first and foremost, I feel like this sort of goes without saying, and I'm not going to go into much detail here, but the vocals, EXO is essentially a vocal unit. They don't really have much in the way of a rap line, and I think that's important actually for them. The type of songs they make and the albums they make, they needed an incredibly strong vocal lineup. They really do. Chen is one of the best vocalists in the industry. I love Baekhyun's vocals, I love Kyungsu's vocals, I love Xiumin's vocals. I miss Lay. Of course, you know, the leader Suho is a fantastic singer, so is Chen Yeol. Sehun's vocals are a little bit, but he's working on them, and that's really important. The improvement in their vocals as well since they first started has been very clear. It's been very impressive, and I really love that about them. Did I forget any members? I hope not. If I did, I really do apologise. I was doing that off the top of my head. But yes, their vocals are a very important reason as to why they are so popular. In general, South Korea is quite a pop vocal heavy country. Now, of course, another thing I sort of want to touch on is their looks and image. It may seem superficial, but this is such an important thing for a K-pop group. All the members are absolutely gorgeous. They all have fairly distinct looks and images and styles, what they wear, how they have their hair styled, even though that's not necessarily under their control. It is all very distinct, and even right at the beginning when they were first debuting, they all had very interesting looks. And also in general, they have a very squeaky clean image in South Korea. That is quite important. You know, you want to have personality, you want to have interesting things about you, but you don't want to be very controversial. Just doesn't help in general, especially when you're starting out. EXO can also make a huge amount of genres work. They, in general, you know, it is SM, so they do play it safe a lot with the type of songs and the genres, but they have tried so many different genres. You know, most recently with the Power of Music, they tried out some reggae type sounds. They introduced a lot more R&B into the mix. You know, they didn't just stick with the clear electronic pop dance formula that SM generally stick to. They've been trying out a lot of different things. They have the staying power. They've been in the mainstream now for over 5 years, so that they can do it. They do not rely on what works. You know, all their albums have been, you know, quite successful, but you know, when they do hit that, like the big time, when they do really well, like Exodus, when that came out, they didn't just make another Exodus. Exact was quite different. The War was one of the most different albums in comparison to like a group's prior album that I've ever seen. The War is very different to Exact, so they don't rely on what works. They don't look back and see, let's try and recreate that last project. Another reason they are very successful, and I know lots of people will contest this and have their own opinions on this, but there is a lot of hand holding from SM, and SM did invest a lot of money in them to begin with. Now, I know the big three companies people are constantly debating about this on Twitter. I have my opinion, which is it is an advantage to be at a bigger company, but it's also a disadvantage in many ways. But for EXO, I really do think beginning out, it was definitely an advantage. You know, they were under a company that had fantastic groups like Super Junior and SHINee on it. So they were coming in under a lot of pressure, yes. They immediately had people interested in listening to the music they made. Whether or not they were good was another thing, but they were already in the foreground. They had that immediate audience. And you know, there's a huge amount of pressure that comes with that, definitely a negative, but the fact is, compared to a group just starting out at a small company, they immediately had more sales and more people watching them and wanting to like them than, you know, other groups. So this definitely, in my opinion, is an advantage, but you need to be good in order to take advantage of that advantage. So it wasn't just like an immediate sort of, here, you're famous now. It very much was, you know, you have to be good in order to get this advantage. So that's sort of my take on that. I know lots of you guys will have other opinions on about it. This is just my opinion. It doesn't, you know, it is what it is. They were able to, you know, have a little bit of tryout period, you know, when they released songs like History and some of those early EPs, which weren't so successful. I'm not really so keen on the music from those EPs in general. Even EXO, I'm not a huge fan of EXO. It is a decent album, but there's some songs on that I'm not so keen on, and it definitely was a trying out period of different sounds and formulas. So yeah, now I don't want to dwell on that too much because I know very opinionated topic, so I'll just end it there. Another reason they've been incredibly successful is that while they did have a little growing pain at the beginning where they struggled and that they weren't particularly popular, they did mature very quickly and they found their sound and they were willing to experiment quite early on. You know, it's now got to the point where SM don't really even need to promote EXO because they're so global and huge that SM, they know they're going to sell and get bigger with every comeback, so they barely even promote their albums. I mean, they've been selling more and more albums every single comeback. They are such a mature group altogether that they handle controversies well, because they have had them, if you can call them controversies, you know, things like dating rumors and scandals, but they handle all these things incredibly well and they go about their jobs with a lot of maturity. They do it well, and that's quite impressive for a group. And finally, this is a very small point, and you know, EXO have had trouble with their members in the past who have left, but I do think a big drawing point for EXO was the Chinese members, and that's why a lot of people are you know, still fans of EXO. I loved the fact that when I found out about them, they also had Chinese members, and you know, I love Lei. I really connect with Lei. I find him to be a great personality, a fantastic musician. But even you know, when Tao, Chris, and Luhan were in the group, they were great personalities and they were very likable. And I think for an international audience, it made the group itself a little bit more international and more likable in a way. So yeah, those are sort of all the points I wanted to touch on. Yeah, I'm sure you guys will have some stuff that you want to talk about in the comments, so go ahead and leave them down there. I've missed out a lot of stuff. Some of it on purpose, some of it I probably just haven't thought about, but I didn't want this to be like a 25-minute video of me rambling, saying a bunch of stuff. In my opinion, these were some of the most important reasons as to why EXO are so incredibly successful. You know, amongst other things, they're just such talented members. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I can't wait for EXO's comeback whenever it is. Still rumours that it's going to be in August. I doubt it will be. I've never seen them announce something so late, so I imagine it's probably going to be more like mid-September, which I'd be alright with, to be honest. That's fine. It's fine. Anyway, thank you for watching. Ginno signing out. See you guys soon.